Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. Today we are looking at some new malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you enjoy them. The first story is called Dress Code Compliance. The shelter I, 30 male, have been working at for a couple of years now is over 30 years old and is quite notorious for keeping things that way. The daily notes are physically kept in binders. 80s style punitive measures are imposed on clients in conflict. And the electrical panels are labeled with cards that went through a typewriter. You get the idea. The floor supervisor, over 20 years in that position, emphasized that even though jeans were allowed, we needed to strictly adhere to the dress code. That meant button-up or collared shirts, no logos, only long pants and dresses, no hats unless you're outside, and no visible tattoos. In other words, dress nothing like the vast majority of people we serve. We are meant to dress the way they should aspire to dress, said the supervisor. I was told other staff, including staff above my pay grade, have long hated the dress code and unsuccessfully tried to change it for years. Given my previous experience with underserved populations, I also knew this was a terrible idea. Generally speaking, what people in these communities lack in financial resources, they make up for in their abilities to read people and navigate emotions. If they think you're an authority figure or acting inauthentic, many will outright write you off. And for the most part, they have a great social and emotional radar. The dress code said men's shirt must have visible buttons or a collar. So I sewed 2 buttons near my hip on a plain t-shirt and wore it. They said nothing the first time. But we had a meeting where they weren't pointing out anyone in particular and updated that specific part of the policy to prevent me from doing it again. Next, I wore capris. After all, nothing about pant length was mentioned either. That time, the code was updated and we were informed via email. Still, no one-on-one conversation about it. A few months and minor malicious compliance later, our workplace gave us logo t-shirts with the institution's name and website on them. Hooray, we thought. We will at least be able to wear t-shirts now. But no. After a week of several co-workers wearing the shirts they gave us, we got an organization-wide email. The shirts did not comply with the dress code and should not be worn during work hours. Knowing me as the office rebel-rouser, several angry co-workers came to me independently to ask how they too could rebel. Enter this story's biggest malicious compliance. As a minimalist, I had no desire to hold onto a shirt that I would not wear. We had no input on the design or color of the shirts, and I simply did not need it taking up space in my closet. The most reasonable alternative would be to turn the shirt back in and explain that, so I did. Coworker number 1 was moving soon and didn't need an extra thing to pack, so she also returned hers. Number 2's partner hated dark green, the shirt's color, so he returned his. This happened all the way to 25 total employees, with some borrowing others' excuses. After 5 days, the supervisor had a box with 24 shirts sitting in his tiny office. He actually has to keep them on his desk, and I can hear him bumping his hand against them when he uses the mouse. 3 months later, they are still there. He's not dumb. He knows those shirts are a screw you that lives in his office. He cannot donate them to the shelter due to some other ridiculous handbook rules about organizational spending. And he bikes 6 miles to work, so driving them home isn't a reasonable option. He has tried putting them in the general office storage. But his boss has said the shirts are the supervisor's problem, since he ordered them. Currently, he's just stuck. We know it bothers him, but he knows he can't bring it up, since it's his own rules that prevent us from wearing them. No dress code changes so far, but the top of the year meeting regarding our handbook has dress code on the table. 3 of the people who return shirts are a part of that 5-people advisory board. I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll finally be rid of some of the dumb, short-sighted elements of our dress code come February. The next story is called You Want a Doctor's Note? A colleague of mine works for a pretty irritating line manager. It's the kind of manager who's watching your every move, phones to see where you are, and checks if you lie about it because he can see the tracking system. Generally, he's a decent guy, but he has no trust in his team, so he always causes more hassle than is needed. My colleague got hurt in a biking accident, a few bad bruises, but nothing overly serious. As per procedure, he made his manager aware. And instead of taking time off, which in the current situation would have been problematic for the company, decided to ask for light duties. The manager agreed, and after a few days decided to start keeping tabs. He's calling in unexpectedly and the likes of that to see exactly what he was doing. After about a week, the injured guy stated he hoped to be back to work on Monday, but couldn't guarantee it. This was taken the wrong way by the manager, who demanded a sick line from the doctors to see what exactly was wrong. I want to make sure you are ready to go to work again. So the colleague went to the doctor. The doctor said his situation required a further 2 weeks of light duties and recommended not going to work at all. But the colleague decided to stay on light duties, and he made sure to take the 2 weeks in full. I hope you enjoyed today's video so far. If you like the video, don't forget to press the like button, it really helps. And now, on to the last story. The last story is called Be There in 15 Minutes or Be Fired. This story is a decade old. I was 18 and worked at a gas station. I was the type of employee that you could always rely on to cover someone else's shift. People would text me directly, and I would let the manager know when I showed up I was covering for so and so. I also owned a small scooter to get to work, since it was nearby. One night, I'm riding my scooter, hit a pothole and hit the pavement. Immediate pain. My face jumps out at me first. It feels like half the road now lives in the left side of my face. I try to sit up, feeling various scrapes, and realize my boob is stuck to my bra. A passerby calls an ambulance. The EMTs think I somehow got a 3rd-degree burn in my boob when I try to pull down my shirt. I take it off and they see all of my skin scraped into my bra. It's excruciating. I go to the hospital, mostly because my helmet was actually a bicycle helmet that came with the scooter. They are worried about a concussion. They have to keep me up until I get checked out by the doctor, who isn't there yet. I realize around 1 AM that I am not fit for work in the morning. Not wanting to wake up my bosses, I call the store and talk to an overnight employee. I tell them to tell the manager when they come in that I can't come in and will drop off a doctor's note when I can. Around 6 AM I'm allowed to go home, drugged up but concussion free. When I get home, I think I might try to start unraveling. I'm covered in scrapes and bruises and have a giant bandage taped over my left side. My face looks like someone glued loose gravel with red glue, and it got close enough to cause a black eye. I say screw it, throw on a comfy tank and some shorts, trying my best not to have fabric over anything uncomfortable. I've been awake over 24 hours. I will deal with the carnage after I sleep. 2 hours later, I wake up to my mom screaming. I come out and she thrusts the phone at me. My assistant manager is now screaming at me. She said I can't tell another employee I'm calling out, I should have called her. She said if I won't be there in 15 minutes, I was fired. She had a spa day with her mom planned and was not cancelling to cover my shift. I hang up and ask my mom what the heck this was. Apparently I didn't hear my phone and she answered recognizing my assistant manager's name. She planned on explaining about my accident, but when she answered, the assistant manager assumed it was me and immediately started yelling the same as above. My mom got heated, yelling she was in an accident. How dare you tell instead of asking if she was okay? She could be dead and you are yelling. So I told my mom that she wants me there in 15 minutes and if she could drive me up there. I grab my doctor's note and we are off. I walk into the building looking like a mess. Despite having multiple pairs, I wear my broken glasses unintentionally. I realize as I walk down the length of the store, I've developed a limp due to my left side being messed up. I didn't brush my hair, it's a wild mane that replaces my normally neat ponytail. Every minor aberration on full display. The chest bandage clearly outlined in my tight tank. I see both the manager and the assistant as they see me. I lock eyes with the assistant and stare her down as I close the distance. My manager stutters out the question of what am I doing there? I turn my attention to him. The assistant manager said if I wasn't here in 15 minutes, I was fired. I'm here, so do I still have my job? He assured me that of course I did, and to go home and rest. I gave him my doctor's note with a hand that's a thread from wrist to halfway down my pinky. I turned to the assistant. I told the overnight person I'd bring in my doctor's note. Next time though, I'll be sure to call you at 1 AM if I need to, right? Seeing the look exchange between the two, my guess had been confirmed. Her calling me was her doing, and my manager didn't know what was happening. I'm sorry about your spa day. If you'll excuse me, they didn't let me sleep until my ex-wife came back. I'm exhausted. I left feeling as good as you can feel with road rash. Unfortunately, working in retail, nothing happened to her for this. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.